I'm Jess Mitchell with your news in a minute, and it's some bad news for Spurs fans. They pushed this season to Game 7 in the playoffs, but it wasn't enough to get the Spurs their 6th NBA championship. Last night was the final game of the playoffs against the Clippers in LA. The Spurs lost by only 2 points in the last moments of the game. Demonstrators are hoping their message is getting across to immigration officials. They went to the small town of Dilley and demanded a new detention camp be closed. The detention center is said to be holding 2,400 immigrant women and children. Clearing brush and picking up dead trees, dozens of volunteers help the San Antonio Fire Department with some wildfire prevention, just as the temperature starts to heat up. And this guy was the center of attention at the San Antonio Zoo. Kids and families enjoyed Pig Day. The educational program raises money for conservation efforts around South Texas. Hello, thanks so much for spending part of your Sunday with us. You're watching Time Warner Cable News. It's Sunday, May 3rd. More on our top story in just a moment, but first let's check your weather. Music, local artwork, and if you ask me, it's a great place to get a handcrafted bar soap. Today is the last day of the Pecan Street Festival. It's held twice a year on 6th Street, formerly known as Pecan Street. You can grab a tasty bite to eat, check out artwork, and listen to live music. If you don't want to battle parking and traffic, Cat Metro will get you there. Metro Rapid runs every 20 to 30 minutes, and a few bus routes will have to detour around the festival. That's the 4, 17, and 100. You can download the Cat Metro app to buy tickets in advance. And if you can't make it today, you can check it out in September. I'm Jess Mitchell, and here's your news in a minute. Crews are cleaning up the mess left behind by this morning's storms. Take a look at this tree that fell in central Austin. A number of power lines also went down, leaving many customers in the dark. History was made in Washington. Loretta Lynch has been sworn in as the nation's 83rd Attorney General. Lynch becomes the first African-American woman to hold the post. Vice President Joe Biden gave her the oath of office. New jobs like manufacturing are coming to Austin and San Antonio. Our series New Texas continues with a look at job growth and salary gaps. And are you looking for a pet? Head over to the Bastrop Animal Shelter. Staff says they've taken in 113 animals over the last 5 days. And medical marijuana is on the minds of lawmakers at the state capitol. A Texas House committee is looking over legislation. If the bill makes it out of committee, it will go to the full House and Senate. Good afternoon. Thanks so much for spending part of your day with us. It's Monday, April 27th. You're watching Time Warner Cable News. More on our top stories in just a moment, but first let's check weather on the ones. Some history is being made in Washington, D.C. today. Loretta Lynch will be sworn in as Attorney General. She will become our nation's 83rd Attorney General, but she is also the first black woman to lead the DOJ and just the second woman overall after Janet Reno. You can see there we're waiting for this ceremony to begin at the Department of Justice, and Vice President Joe Biden will do the swearing in. He will administer the oath of office. The Senate confirmed 55-year-old Lynch after months of delays, so this is a long-awaited ceremony for her and many others. Vice President Joe Biden will give the oath of office again.
Attorney General designate Miss Loretta.
Here we go. The ceremony is beginning. Let's take you now to Washington, D.C.
Joe Biden.
Census numbers show more than 500,000 people have moved to Austin and San Antonio apiece since 2000. That's more than 1 million people seeking a new life in Central and South Texas. The first step for them is finding a job. Our Jeff Stensland explains why local leaders are shifting their focus to middle-income jobs. Going back in time for some diet tips, and we're really going back in time for this one, to the caveman days. The diet is called paleo. Now, Victoria, we know you're near the Greenbelt. Can you pinpoint a little bit more specifically where your location is? The issue of same-sex marriage is taking center stage in the nation's capital today. The Supreme Court is hearing oral arguments in a landmark case. It will determine whether there is a constitutional right for same-sex couples to marry or if it should be left up to the states. Our Karina Kling is in D.C. following this story. Karina, you've spoken with some Texans who are trying to get a spot in the courtroom. Did they make it in? It may be fun to tie the knot, but the cost of getting married is on average over $30,000. But that doesn't mean your dream wedding is automatically out of reach. We take a look at budgeting in this week's Money Matters. Stay tuned.